So a lot of our products, once it comes into ingest, we can be extremely useful in the organizational aspect of things. If the editing software needs a specific format, we can change the video in there and just make it easier for your pre-existing workflow to keep going the way that your employees already know. Cinedeck is a software encoding option for ingest of media for corporate events or live events or whatever would be generating video content.
Ingest of media. So I take the camera card out of the camera, plug it into my computer, and run it through Cinedeck?
Even less than that. We'll take it straight out of the camera and turn it into whatever file format you desire.
How do you take it out of the camera?
So typically that'll be an SDI feed over baseband, just over a copper wire. But we can also do SRT streams or NDI streams over the network as well.
Well, NDI is IP.
Correct.
Okay. SRT I don't know. And SDI, I've checked the two cameras that we're running, and neither of them have an SDI output. Am I totally hosed?
No. So a lot of cameras that don't have SDI outputs will typically have an HDMI output. And then various companies will make converters so that you can turn that into SDI. Or if you have another capture card that will input into a computer, essentially take a video signal and ingest it into a computer, then Cinedeck can grab that signal as it comes into the computer and ingest that.
Now, why do I want to use Cinedeck at all? What's the advantage?
So a lot of what we have over a lot of the other options is just ease of use. As the video comes into us, we have a vast majority of different codecs, different wrappers. So for different editing softwares, have different requirements, different.
So if it's coming in SDI, it is essentially not a raw signal because that's a sensor data, but it's essentially video which can be converted into any format that we want. Am I hearing that correctly?
Correct.
And so what you're doing is you're taking whatever that SDI stream is, which is digital, and converting it into whatever codec we need.
Correct.
Why?
So a lot of times that will be if other editing programs or editors have preferred workflows, preferred some editing softwares work better with specific codecs. Sometimes you don't necessarily need 10-bit color. Maybe you only need 8-bit color to save on hardware costs, or you just don't need the data, so why deal with the extra file size? Some people want 10-bit color. Some people want specific quality. Some people don't need high quality if it's just going to an Instagram short. Something like that. So it gives you the flexibility to where if you need the quality, you can get it. But if you don't necessarily need it, you can still have that option if you decide to scale up in the future.
Alex, you've talked about the RX3 as your new small hardware toy.
Yep.
What other new stuff are you announcing here at the show?
So we have a new system, which is kind of a culmination of all of our tools that we call our Cloud Flow Hub. So essentially that takes the whole Cinedeck suite and puts it in the cloud to make it even easier, as opposed to having multiple pieces of hardware or multiple people doing multiple jobs. You can have one system with a simple web UI, a couple mouse clicks, and it automates the entire process from ingest to upload it in your final folder location.
Except as soon as you move to the cloud, a whole raft of new problems arise. We've got privacy, we've got security, we've got constantly renting our media. How do you keep our stuff safe?
So a lot of this with the cloud is we'll only use big, well-known, well-secured clouds. We also have a couple clients that are working on creating their own private clouds to keep everything close to their chest and on their own.
Now we've been talking about ingest, but there are other features to Cinedeck's products. What do you have?
So we also have the Cinedeck suite. So that is a collection of different programs that can deal with transcodes. So if you record in one format, we can change that into another format, as well as metadata creation. So for organization aspects, some large studios will use metadata just for organizational or data about that clip. We can change that data, and then we can tie that data to a specific video clip. So we can do all of that as well.
What have you got that's new at the show?
So at this show, we're debuting our new hardware option. It's called our RX3. It's a very small form factor computer made for if you need to take it portable, take it on site, but still need some ingest solutions, or for just smaller shows. If you only have 4 cameras or 3 cameras and maybe you want an output, maybe you don't need a full rack mount server. That would be way overkill for your application. We now have a smaller option as well.
We've talked about ingest in terms of getting the images from the camera into our computer using your software. But you have a whole suite of products. What's the workflow? Where do your products fit into the editorial process?
So a lot of our products, once it comes into ingest, we can be extremely useful in the organizational aspect of things. If the editing software needs a specific format, we can change the video in there and just make it easier for your pre-existing workflow to keep going the way that your employees already know. We can make it really easy for metadata for organizational aspects, for archival use, or really the core of it is your pre-existing workflows. We can try to simplify and cut out unnecessary bloat while also providing a really well-rounded organizational piece to fit your pre-existing workflows.
And I can buy any one of those pieces if I wanted to, but they work best as a suite? Or is it really designed as a standalone, each is standalone?
You could absolutely buy them individually. They work really well together. It's kind of where the whole picture really shines. But if you have a specific use case for one tool, you can absolutely get just that one tool.
If you were to summarize the key features and benefits of working with Cinedeck and its suite of products in a paragraph, what would you say?
I would say that a lot of our core is about making things easier. It doesn't always have to be super complicated. If you already know what you need, we don't need to add an extra layer of complexity to that. So a lot of our goal is to make it easy for the end user. Once you know what you need or what you want, our goal is to make that an easy couple mouse clicks and make it a simple, streamlined process all the way to what you need at the end.
Alex, thank you very much.
Of course, it's always a pleasure.